Hey, hello and welcome. I'm going to be doing a little bit of knitting on camera today. If you want to know more about this project and any tips I have, please see the Patreon outline. And if you're on this, watching it somewhere else, you should totally let me know. So we're just working another few rounds of the sock. And I'm going to get as many in as my phone's battery will allow. We'll see how many that is. So the first half of the first sock done. Move this out of the way. Make sure this is out of the way. I will also edit this Patreon post so that it also mentions the needles and where to find them. I've got the pattern, my project page, the class I took to help me with the pattern, and I have a mention of the yarn, which you can find exclusively at AC Moore, but it is basically potluck, so they may or may not have it. There are no color ways, there's no numbers, no dye lots, it's just whatever they get in stock. And I'm going to go ahead and move this out of the way so you can better see any kind of background noise. No, I can't move that any further. So now I'm starting the second half of the second sock. Moving my needles over and making sure that the yarn I'm not working with is out of the way. And this is the magic loop method, which I will mention. If you're curious to know more about it, I also add a link in for that into the Patreon post. I chose to do 2 socks at a time so I don't have to deal with second sock syndrome. And second sock syndrome is the tendency to start and finish one sock and not make the other sock because you have to start all over again. And so you have a bunch of socks with no mates. Now the solution is to make your socks at the same time, which can only be accomplished by using magic loop, which is the use of a 40-inch needle typically, and it allows you to have enough slack to fit both socks on the needles at the same time. Let's see. If you notice, I hold my yarn in a particular fashion that lets me go a little faster. So instead of throwing my yarn, which would mean the yarn would be in this hand and I would be moving it across, I pick. And that means that I use the needle to pick up the yarn. And furthermore, I tension it on my index finger to make it even quicker. But it doesn't require me to wrap the yarn around several fingers or anything like that, which I find handy. So make sure I switch sides that the balls are on. And I'm also making notations as to how many rounds I've done, because I like to know precisely how tall my socks are. And we begin again. I was hoping to be done with these last week, and that just did not happen. And so here I am working on them still again, ready to be done with them. I've got another color I'd like to see develop in another pair of socks with a stitch pattern. And I also just want to know if the edit that I made to these actually works. I decided to take a 1/4 inch off of the foot before the heel was placed. And probably what I will do is after these two, this round is done, I will cut this video off. We're coming up on 10 minutes, and I want to make sure that I don't kill my phone battery. But this just gives you kind of a peek at how long things take, even if you're working quickly. And of course, knitting is not a race. You don't need to be quick or slow. You just need to enjoy it and be able to finish something. Just because not finishing something just doesn't seem like that's a lot of fun. I have this idea that I'm going to get a Lazy Susan, and that will make knitting with 2 balls easier. But I haven't found a Lazy Susan to my liking yet. And I'm going to have to stop the video here. So thank you, and I hope you enjoyed this. And I will show you pictures of what I've gotten done so far. And have a good Thursday.